They say the past is prologue, a warning, a lesson, a justification. But what if that phrase doesn't prevent disaster? What if it causes it? Because when we believe we already know how the story ends, we stop thinking. And history doesn't repeat itself. People repeat it.
AJ Weekly, the Not So Weekly podcast. AJ Weekly.
What the past is prologue really means.
The past is prologue sounds wise, measured, responsible. What it actually means is simple. Everything that happened before this moment shaped the conditions of now. Not destiny, not fate, context. But somewhere along the way, that idea mutated. Instead of history informs judgment, it became history predicts outcomes. And then worse, history justifies intervention. Once you decide the ending is already written, any action becomes defensible. Censorship becomes prevention. Power becomes protection. Control becomes learning from history. That's not wisdom. That's fear dressed up as foresight.
When the past is prologue went wrong, real history.
Let's get specific. Example 1. Post-World War I Germany. The victors decided, we've seen German militarism before. Never again, so they crushed the economy, humiliated the population, moralized punishment as prevention. The result wasn't peace. It was radicalization. The attempt to stop history from repeating became the fuel that restarted it. The past wasn't a warning. It was used as a script. The fear, communism already infiltrated Europe. It's happening again. So the response, loyalty tests, blacklists, speech restrictions, guilt by association. The irony? In trying to prevent authoritarianism, the state adopted authoritarian tools. History didn't repeat because it was ignored. It repeated because it was oversimplified. Example 3. Post 9/11 America. We missed the signs before. Never again. So mass surveillance, permanent emergency powers, endless war. History was invoked constantly, but never examined honestly. The result? Trillions spent, millions displaced. Institutions hollowed out. And now the same logic gets reused internally. Which brings us to today.
Modern Canada and U.S. history as a weapon.
This is where the past is prologue stops being academic. In Canada, you hear it whenever speech is regulated for safety, whenever dissent is framed as a prelude to violence, whenever identity is treated as historical guilt instead of individual reality. History is invoked selectively. Colonialism is eternal. Institutions are permanently suspect. But accountability is strangely absent in the present. The result? No forgiveness, no resolution, only permanent moral debt. That's not reconciliation. That's institutionalized resentment. In the U.S., every disagreement is framed as 1930s Germany. Every protest becomes an early warning sign. Every election is the most important in history. Once everything is a prologue to catastrophe, nothing is allowed to be normal. Fear becomes policy. Emergency becomes permanent. And the public is told, if you question this, you didn't learn from history. That's not learning. That's obedience.
The paradox.
Here's the paradox nobody wants to admit. The more we obsess over preventing the past, the more we recreate its structure. Moral certainty, collective blame, censorship for the greater good, ends justifying means. History doesn't punish ignorance nearly as much as it punishes arrogance, especially the arrogance of thinking we finally understand it.
A better frame.
The past is not prologue. The past is a constraint. It shows human incentives, power dynamics, failure modes. It does not show exact outcomes, moral inevitability. who the villains will be. History doesn't demand obedience, it demands humility. The moment someone claims they know how this ends, they've stopped studying history and started writing propaganda. The revolution is being televised. Question is, are you watching?